Get the hang of that one day. Okay, now today we going all Wild West with a film starring Spencer Tracy, Robert Wagner, Richard Widmark, Hugh O'Brien, and a score of others in Edward Dimitrix, and I hope I pronounced that right. Edward.
20th Century Fox proudly presents Spencer Tracy as the reckless, relentless ruler of a young empire divided against itself. Robert Wagner as his half-breed son, who was all man and all courage.
Pull it. Draw and I'll blow your head off.
Jean Peters as the girl who risked shame and family for the only man she could ever love.
No, but you don't know what you're getting yourself into. You don't know what people will say.
Yes, I do. Just as your mother did.
Richard Widmark as the fierce firstborn son, first to scheme, first to kill.
Did you ever ask me how I'd like an Indian stepmother after Ma died? So it's just a little late for asking now.
Cati Hirado of High Noon fame as the beautiful Indian stepmother. All the primitive loves and pent-up hatreds of an amazing pioneer family, blazing into hitherto untold fury.
You're rich, you're 6 years old, and you're governor of the state.
And who made you the governor of the state? Did everything would change me.
Then maybe I will. Maybe I will. I can still pull that chair right out from under you.
Maybe I will.
There's something I'm going to do first. I'm going to tell my boy that if he wants that girl of yours to take her, he has to pull her out of the house by the hair of her head.
Here is the ruthless violence and massive destruction that carved the cattle and mining domains out of the flaming West, brought to the screen through the miracle of CinemaScope and the wonder of stereophonic sound in Broken Lance.
Okay, now let's get on with the review. I've got my notes here. I've got a glass of whiskey, and I'm talking about a classic Western. What more do you need? Now, Westerns are, by and large, my favourite genre of movies. I like multiple genres, but Westerns will always have a place in my heart for me. When I was brought up as a child, Westerns were hugely popular, and I spent a lot of time at my grandfather's house, and my grandfather loved Westerns. And on a Saturday night, when I was growing up on BBC One, after stuff like Doctor Who, which was always on, and the Generation Game, which my nan liked, you had Saturday night at the movies, and more often than not, that movie was a Western. And so I grew up with Westerns because my grandfather loved Westerns. My grandfather read Western books. My nan would go to the library every week and get out a load of Western books from my grandfather. And I started reading them as well as I was a kid, so I really got introduced to the Westerns at a very young age. Now, the film I'm talking about today, as I say, is Broken Lance from 1954, which was directed by Edward Dimitrix, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I know this director also did Warlock, which is another highly regarded Western. This one stars Spencer Tracy, Robert Wagner, Jean Peters, Richard Widmark, and it's, well, I've got this Western Classics DVD edition here from Optimum Publishing, and on the back it tells us that this is a remarkable Western based on Shakespeare's King Lear. Edward Dimitrix's powerful Broken Lance is the epic tale of an hard-nosed pioneer who trusts his wayward sons to continue the family legacy. Now, I really can't say how much of King Lear, Shakespeare's King Lear, is in you, because I do not knoweth Shakespeareth. I could pretendeth that I know much about Shakespeare, but I don't. All I know about Shakespeare Shakespeare rather, is to be or not to be. For that is the question. There's also another quote that I used once in a short story that I wrote, and it says, "In the dark, imagining some fear, how easy a bush is supposed to be." Anyway, that's the limits of my Shakespeare. But I know that this the script here, this film, comes from a novel which was called "I'll Never Go There Anymore" by Jerome Weedham. It's already been filmed previously as The House of Strangers. That was in 1949. As I say, this. As I say, this movie, Broken Lands, comes from 1954, and it would be filmed again as The Big Show in 1961. Now, The House of Strangers, 1949, which apparently this sort of reworks the script, was set in New York, but they've transported here to a Wild West setting now. The film opens with Robert Wagner being released from prison. And meeting up with his three brothers. We don't know exactly what the issue is at the moment, initially, but his brothers offer him a large amount of money, $10,000, to leave the area. They've even got him a ranch. Robert Wagner thrusts the 10 grand into a spittoon and walks out and goes back to a dilapidated ranch, which turns out to be the ranch where he was brought up. He and his brothers were brought up, and above the fireplace, this ranch is falling apart, but above the fireplace is a large oil painting of his dad, and that is Spencer Tracy, his late father. And then the bulk of the film is a flashback, which tells us exactly.
What if I don't like horses?
You like it.
I hear it's real nice country up there, Joe.
We worked it out for you the best we could, Joe, but if there's something else...
There is something else. 3 years. 3 years out of my life. 3 years I spent in that stinking jail. Can you give me back those?
No, not even if I had them to give you. I lost mine sweating out chores for Pa before you were ever born. I'm not crying about them, I'm just telling you. All right, Joe, you've got our offer, you've got our money. The train goes through here at 6 tonight. Be on it and the deal stands.
Flashback, which tells us exactly what happened. So we've got Spencer Tracy. Now, Spencer Tracy, as an actor, is absolutely superb, but he wasn't a showy actor. He acted, he was very realistic. He reacted rather than acted, and Spencer Tracy's a brilliant actor, no matter what you watch him in. Spencer Tracy brings a certain gravitas to a role. Now, the brothers of Robert Wagner's character is Joe Devereaux. Joe Devereaux is an half-breed. Spencer Tracy's wife is an Indian, and she is the mother of Joe. The other brothers, played by Hugh O'Brien and Richard Widmark, the two most notable ones now. Richard Widmark plays Ben Devereaux, and Widmark is a brooding presence in this film. He stands in the background. He's exuding a kind of evil. You can see that he's jealous of Robert Wagner, the Robert Wagner's character's relationship with his father, and there doesn't seem to be any love lost between Richard Widmark and Spencer Tracy, between father and son, and the same with the other two brothers. They seem to be at odds with their father, as they kept at a distance. It's a great film. And another thing that is very impressive in this film is the cinemascope used here. It looks absolutely wonderful. Now, the director really fills it. wonderful. Now the director really fills up the extra scope in the type of camera used, and he really fills the frame. You can see the film playing up here behind me. Here are the three other brothers. Here's Robert Wagner's character. Wagner here has just come out of prison, and this is where Richard Widmark's character offers Robert Wagner the £10,000 to ride away. Needless to say, he refuses. He rides out to the ranch, and that's when we get the flashback, an elongated flashback, which shows up that fills up the main part of this movie, and Spencer Tracy is absolutely superb in this film. If there was one fault that I could pick with this film, it's probably the ending. I found the ending underwhelming, but it truly is a great Western. It's not a traditional Western as such. It's a family drama dressed up as a Western, but it is excellent. And with
Well?
excellent.
We didn't mean nothing, Pa. Just a couple of little steers.
Uh-huh. Why?
I don't know.
We needed the money, that's why.
Money? Well, you got money?
You mean that lousy 40 a month you give us?
Don't you ever use that tone to me, boy.
Pa, we didn't mean nothing.
No, I don't suppose you did. You just figured you'd steal some cattle and sell them. Of course, anybody within 1,000 miles would know that brand, even though it had been raised.
Excellent, and with excellent acting from all of the cast. So that's Broken Lance, highly recommended, and I will be reviewing more westerns here because, as I say, it's a genre I love. So please, if you've enjoyed this quick video, then please hit subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Help my channel grow. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought about this movie. Is it one of your favorite westerns? What are your favorite westerns? And also give us a thumbs up. I'm going to enjoy my whiskey now, and I'll bid you goodbye and see you soon on at the Tainted Tavern. Pull up a chair. Let's share a drink. Let's talk movies, books, and pretty much everything else. Bye for now.